Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into some really fascinating source material on a platform called OneReceipt. And let me tell you, this proposes a fundamental, absolute shift in how the rental industry thinks about rent concessions.
So, here's the million-dollar question. How do you give tenants free rent without actually losing money? I mean, for years, renters and property operators have been locked in this really stubborn zero-sum game, right? On one side, the cost of living is just brutally squeezing renters. On the other, landlords are battling to protect their property values. Historically, solving this meant somebody had to take a financial hit. But what if that just wasn't true anymore? That's exactly what we're unpacking today.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap. We'll start with 1, the cost of renting. Then we'll cover the two sides of the coin. 2, what's in it for tenants. And 3, what's in it for landlords. After that, it's 4, 3 ways to deploy. And we'll wrap up with 5, the new rental equation.
All right. Let's jump right into Section 1, the cost of renting and the problem with traditional concessions.
Think about this number for a second. $4,000. That is the estimated cost a landlord absorbs in vacancy, make-ready repairs, and marketing every single time they lose just one multifamily resident. It's a huge hit. And because renters are stretched incredibly thin by current cost of living pressures right now, operators are seeing way higher turnover risk. Naturally, that ramps up the pressure to offer concessions just to keep units occupied. It's a massive, mutual headache for both sides.
Traditionally, landlord concessions are basically a 1-to-1 ratio. $1 of net operating income spent by the landlord gets you roughly $1 of value for the tenant. Think of your standard free month of rent or a Visa gift card. But the source material claims OneReceipt totally flips this math on its head. They suggest that every $1 of landlord spend has the potential to unlock $20 or even more in actual cash value for the tenant. It's literally a multiplier effect.
Okay, let's look at the first side of the coin in Section 2. What's in it for tenants? Unlocking relief.
From the renter's perspective, this is huge. The platform states that eligible renters can actually unlock up to 2 months of free rent annually. And here's the kicker. This happens through aftermarket rebates and savings. That means the tenant recovers real cash flow, but, and this is absolutely crucial, it doesn't require the landlord to lower the face rent at all. It hits the nail on the head regarding the real issue, which is usually the tenant's overall day-to-day cash flow, not necessarily just the rent check itself.
So how does this actually work for the tenant? It breaks down into 4 simple steps in the app. 1. Capture. Tenants just collect the receipts for recurring household stuff. Think rent, renter's insurance, the internet bill. 2. Classify. This separates personal costs from eligible business use costs, like all those work-from-home expenses we all have now. 3. Prepare. The app organizes all this info for tax or savings workflows. And finally, 4. Recover. This is where eligible tenants actually unlock that after-tax cash.
Flipping the script, let's move to Section 3. What's in it for landlords? Protecting NOI.
Let this number really sink in. 20x. When we look at the landlord's side of the equation, the whole argument rests on this 20 times multiplier. By spending just one single dollar, the landlord facilitates third-party savings instead of directly discounting the rent. And that can put 20 times that amount in after-tax cash right back into the tenant's pocket. The source material frames this as the ultimate alternative to those painful, dollar-for-dollar traditional concessions we talked about earlier.
Operationally speaking, the sources point out some serious advantages here. First off, it aims to lower tenant churn by heavily incentivizing renewals, which directly protects net operating income and those all-important property valuations, or cap rates. It's also a massive competitive differentiator. And here's a really smart detail. This is a tenant-only benefit that is explicitly tied to the lease. If the tenant decides to move out, boom, that financial benefit is gone. It doesn't follow them to the building down the street.
All right, Section 4, 3 ways to deploy. Operational mechanics.
So how do property managers actually roll this out? Landlords basically have 3 strategic models to choose from to fit their specific portfolio: buy and give, buy and resell, or market it. Let's break down exactly how these play out in the real world.
First up is the buy and give model. Here, operators purchase licenses to offer up as a move-in or renewal benefit. The whole goal is to crush that concession pressure by giving the tenant very real, perceived financial value, all while stubbornly protecting the property's face rent. Basically, you're positioning your property as a financial ally that actually helps them manage their household affordability. Next is the buy and resell option. And this is where it actually becomes an ancillary revenue stream. Landlords can bundle the platform into a resident benefits package and charge a monthly or annual fee for it.
This model literally turns cost of living relief into a revenue-positive service for the building. You're essentially sharing the economic upside straight with the tenants. Finally, we have the Market It option. This one is great because it lets operators promote the platform in their leasing materials without even needing to buy licenses up front. Property managers can run acquisition campaigns that highlight this tenant cash recovery and then use that to track prospect engagement before they ever commit to a paid model. It gives prospective tenants a highly concrete, tangible reason to choose your building over the one next door.
And that brings us to Section 5, the new rental equation, a mutual win.
To bring this all together, the source material defines One Receipt as a tenant savings app that landlords can deploy as a retention, revenue, and acquisition advantage. It's not just another app. It's attempting to perfectly align both parties. It saves the tenant serious money on their everyday expenses while simultaneously protecting the landlord's rent roll and portfolio economics. It perfectly synthesizes those two big pillars, tenant needs on one side and landlord operations on the other. The source material leaves us with this incredibly powerful thought. Stop competing only with concessions. Compete by helping tenants lower their true cost of living. Wow, it really raises a provocative question for everyone watching this explainer today. Are operators out there unnecessarily sacrificing their net operating income? And on the flip side, should renters start expecting their properties to actively assist with their cost of living? It proposes a total paradigm shift in the traditional lease agreement. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.